Hello, great to see you again. It's another end of a beautiful week. The weeks are flying by so fast. We're coming up to the end of November. There's only one more day of November and then we start a whole new month and a whole new season. So that's really exciting. But at the moment we're coming up to the silly season. So the silly season is all about where everyone starts to get busy and they start to get overwhelmed with the whole processes. So that's what I wanted to have a chat today with you about. So I'm Teresa Todd. I'm naturopath, biochemist, microbiologist, and author of The Energy Solution. And this week in my clinic, I've just come across a couple of people who've been feeling a bit overwhelmed. One particular client today who's a mum, and this is probably who I'm aiming at today when I'm talking to you, the mums that have got all of the things going on. We've got the end of the school kids events, we've got the kids catch up, so they've got after school events, they've got events at school, depending on the ages of them. It could be anything from a Christmas party up into you've got not a Stedford's, the end of year concerts, so especially if they're in some kind of band or choir or play production. So all of that starts to happen at this time of the year. So mums can feel very much overwhelmed at this time of the year trying to keep up with all of the extra activities that the kids have on. But also besides that, even if you're not a mum with kids, I know there's a lot of dads that are feeling the same way. I know there are a couple of dads that are single parents and they're trying to keep up with all of this as well and work. But that's the thing, is at this time of the year, we've got the kids stuff, but we've still got our own work parties. So if you've got a work environment where you've got social gatherings for your work, that end of season work party, Christmas parties, got social events. It's the time of the year catching up with friends that you haven't probably seen all year. I just had that conversation with my husband yesterday where it was like, do you know what? We haven't seen so-and-so for such a long time. I think it's time we need to catch up with them. And then you're putting all of that together with Christmas preparations, with the preparations if you're having Christmas at your house or if you're having Christmas somewhere else. You've got all the preparation of the food to buy, the groceries, if you're having it at your own house. Preparing the house, getting the house ready to have a gathering at your place. All of these things come together. And then you've also got Christmas presents, buying presents for your family members, buying presents for your loved ones. And with that, you get a lot of people get really busy and get really crowded at the shops, so everyone gets a little bit manic along that time. So it's all about all of these things that are preparing for Christmas. Now, in amongst that, what time do you have for you? What are you doing for you to help you through this silly season? Because if I pack all of that together, so the kids' events, the work parties, the social events, preparing for Christmas, cooking for Christmas. This year, the family gathering, we've said there's no cooking for Christmas. It's all about being easy. It's all about having lots of salads and lots of meals that don't take a lot of preparation. We don't have a lot of cooking. There's all the big roasts and that kind of thing. It just isn't going to happen this year. One, it's a bit too hot here on the coast. But two, it's a lot of preparation with all of that. And a lot of food goes to waste with that. So we've decided to keep it really simple this year. So what are you doing for you in the lead up to Christmas? Are you madly running around trying to get everything done? Have you got lists and lists and more lists about tasks that you need to do? How are you going to survive through the Christmas? So the client that I was talking about today, she felt overwhelmed and felt tired already. So before she even came into the Christmas period, she was already feeling tired and run down. And then she said to me, you layer that with everything that I've got going on, the end of school kids functions, the having to do things for her husband's business as well as her own, as well as looking at the social events. She just said, I'm just too tired. I'm not getting great sleep. I'm not getting time to disconnect. I'm just constantly chasing my tail. So the conversation I had with her is along the lines of the conversation I'm having with you now. What are you doing for you? How can you stop? How can we put time in for us so that at the end of the Christmas period, when everyone goes home and everyone stops the Christmas festivities, how are you going to feel? Are you going to feel tired and run down, starting a new year tired and behind the 8 ball already? Or are you going to feel happy, rejuvenated, got through the Christmas period with ease And by doing that, the way to get through Christmas period with ease is to give yourself the me time, the time for you. But don't feel guilty about it. There's no guilt with this. If you take time out for you and you say to someone, no, I just need to take an hour to go for a walk on the beach, or I just need an hour to sit and read a book, half an hour, 20 minutes, allocate that to you and don't feel guilty about it. So what are you doing for you? That's my question. What do you like to do? Do you like to walk along the beach? Do you like to walk around your neighborhood? Do you like to read a book, have a massage, go to a yoga class, do a meditation, go dancing? What is it that you like to do that you could really do and participate in during the lead up to the Christmas festivities that's going to help to keep you sane and to keep you energized and motivated? Because if you keep running on that adrenaline and you keep pushing yourself even though you're tired and you've got all of these things that you've got going on, your adrenals are going to become tired. You might go into adrenal burnout. You could become crabby and irritable. You could make poor decisions. You might not sleep as well as you normally do because you've got all of these things racing around in your mind. You might find that you're less able to enjoy the lead up to the Christmas festivities, that you're less able to enjoy every event that you go to because you're too tired or too run down. You might find that you're making poor decisions when you're driving your car. So especially when we're tired, we can make really poor decisions when we're driving our car, and that's when we get a lot more road rage going on. So by allocating time for you and really allocating this space where you can sit and you can take some time and do whatever it is that you enjoy doing, but make it regular. That way you'll be able to survive and thrive through the festive season and come out the other side and not feel so tired and run down. Did you know that by pushing yourself constantly, you're just setting yourself up for next year? So how do you want to start the new year? Do you want to start it feeling tired and run down? Or do you want to start it and feel happy and energized? So when you're planning your Christmas festivities, plan out what's happening. Here's some tips for you. Plan out all the events that you've got to go to. Whether it's the kids' end of school events, whether it's your work parties, your social parties. And also put in, if you want time to catch up with friends and family. It's also the time that you catch up with family that you don't always see. Maybe the cousins, the extended family that you don't see all the time. Write all of those things down. Everything that you've got coming up. And if there are engagements or social activities that are just going to, I suppose, rob you of your energy, don't feel guilty about saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't make it at the moment. Prioritize those events so that the events that are really present and true to your heart are the ones that you go to. The ones that aren't as much of an issue if you don't attend, put them to one side and say, okay, if I've got enough time, I'll attend that event. And then schedule some time in for you. Schedule some time for you to read your book, to go for a walk, to do an exercise class, to sit and have a cup of tea while you're watching the sunset. Schedule that time in for you, because if you don't, you'll get to the end of the next 4 weeks. It's just under 4 weeks till Christmas. You'll get to the end of the next 4 weeks and go, I didn't get time for me. So by looking at your calendar for the next 4 weeks and putting in those events that you need to go to, and then putting in the time that you can have for you, you can then structure everything else. So you could then go, okay, well, I still need to get the groceries and I need to get the presents. I need to purchase, whether it be some decorations or other things. A lot of that can be done on the online shops. So you've got online grocery shopping is great at the moment because you don't have to move through the crowded shopping centres, and it saves you time. So you could just order your groceries online, which when you get into the groove can take you about 10-15 minutes. And then you do the drive-through or the click and collect, and that takes you another few minutes. Saves you about an hour or so walking through the shops. And in that rest of that 45 minutes that you've just saved yourself, you could have that cup of tea and watch the sunset. You could read a book. You could go and do a meditation or an exercise class. So think about it in those terms. How can you look at the rest of the next 4 weeks and schedule time for you and still do everything that needs to be done. Look at getting family members to help you, or even friends if there's other mums that are doing the same sort of events. If there's costumes to be made, if there's food to be made for end of year parties for kids, look to group together with other mums so that you can all make something a bit larger as far as a larger amount of what you're making, and then you can divvy it up with another family. And that's a great way to save time. And then you get to give them, whether it's the cupcakes, and then they get to make whatever, the salad or whatever it is that they're making, and you swap half of it. And so you're not having to make so much. It's a much easier way. If there's costumes to be made, you could divvy out what has to be done with another family member or another family as well, and you each take turns in doing some of those things. That'll cut down your time and the aggravation of having to get through and do all these tasks. But also looking at really planning and really making sure that you're planning everything. Sometimes we can sort of go, oh look, I've got 5 things to do, and you leave it in your mind and you let it sit there, and then that list in your mind grows and grows and grows. Whereas if you can write it out and say, these are the tasks that I have to do, these are the things that we want to do before Christmas, this is the events, and this is the time for me. Now plan that out alongside your work hours, alongside the children's after school activities, and you'll find it'll flow a lot better. And then if there's an activity or a task that doesn't need to be done, that you could leave till next year, you could leave till after the Christmas time, leave it till then. Give yourself that time now so that you can, like I said, thrive through the next 4 weeks and really come to the other side. Because it's not about being tired and run down for the new year. You want to be vibrant and energized for the new year coming, and we've got 2020 coming. How great is that? So please set some time aside for you. Set some time to do something that you really enjoy doing, and do it regularly. Not just once in the next 4 weeks. Do it regularly. It may not be every day. It might be once a week you go and do a yoga class. And then another time of the week you might read a chapter of a book, or listen to some beautiful music, or have that cup of tea as the sun sets. But make something small, and it can be small, but make it consistent, that you're doing it for the next 4 weeks, and you will come to the end of the Christmas end of the Christmas festivities feeling like you've got through it, you've actually enjoyed it all, and that you're ready and set up for 2020. So I hope I've been able to give you some food for thought for this week. I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend. It's beautiful weather again, and I really look forward to speaking with you next week. Bye for now.